share with you today. Before we rush into it. Sustainable community development programs globally. Right? So, Ghana, as I had mentioned, one of the reasons we felt very happy to be here today is also because we have had our presence in Ghana. Right? So, in Ghana, we partnered with the ANOPA project. This partnership uses sports intervention like swimming, football and basketball as instruments for personal development, promoting gender equality, peace building, improving school retention and inclusion among 1,300 children with visual and hearing loss in Cape Coast. So we have an exhibition booth at the entrance of the hall. Those of you who would like to see and know more about this project, please head to the booth. We will be greeted by two of our project partners there who will give you explanation to that. Yeah? So 300 children enrolled in schools, 382 parents and peers sensitized, 14 children selected for deaf swimming championship in Argentina. As I speak, these 40 children who were trained through the Rhythm Foundation funded project are currently in Argentina. They will be taking part in the competition next month, and the foundation has also funded for their sports kids to be able to attend the competition.
World Vision International is a child-focused organization with the primary aim of protecting the rights of children and providing access to healthcare, quality education, water, sanitation and hygiene, and livelihood security. In Ghana, World Vision has been operating since 1976. World Vision's work in Ghana supports our global response to ensure child well-being, especially the most vulnerable. There are still foundational issues that affect children and their families. Majority of children in rural Ghana do not drink safe water and do not have access to improved sanitation, leading to diseases such as diarrhea and malaria. Education remains the enabler to secure a sustainable livelihood for many children and their families living in rural Ghana. However, data on school enrollment shows that there are more children in school today than any period in Ghana's history, but a measure of what children are learning shows that 98% of children in Ghana cannot read and write. There are still some children who are yet to enter school. Underpinning World Vision's work in Ghana is supporting government efforts at eradicating poverty.
With all due respect, Madam Speaker, our parents should simply think outside the box and look for alternative sources of making money, rather than engaging in this modern-day slavery.
World Vision believes that if parents and guardians have strong financial muscle, their ability to take good care of their children is guaranteed to some extent. World Vision is supporting vulnerable children and communities through our livelihood project by ensuring that families are enrolled to the Savings for Transformation model, which enable them not only cultivate a habit of savings, but are able to access soft loans to upgrade their small businesses. Also, World Vision is working closely with local government structures to put boreholes and latrine facilities aimed at ensuring open defecation-free communities and therefore improving overall health of children and their families. World Vision's work includes working with the Ministry of Education to implement reading projects that will help children break through literacy with two evidence-based project models, that is, unlock literacy and learning roots.
I'm happy that I can read English and read.
The safety of the child is paramount to World Vision's work in Ghana. Our pride is to see more children thrive. This means children are able to live in a free society devoid of harm or prejudices that will hurt them physically and emotionally.
Madam Speaker, I, Honorable Comrade Hannah Tufebu, FP4, and my top constituency, do move that this House discuss issues on child.
Thus, our Our vision for every child is life in all its fullness, and our prayer for every heart, the will to make it so.
Very warm greetings from World Vision, and I'm indeed happy to speak at today's 10th edition of the West Africa CSR and Sustainability Conference. So World Vision is a Christian relief, development and advocacy humanitarian organization with a vision to work with partners, including the corporate sector, to ensure children, irrespective of where they live, realize their full potential in societies which respect people's rights and dignity. World Vision has been working in Ghana for the past 44 years, contributing to the well-being of children, families, especially the most vulnerable. The goal of World Vision Ghana's strategy is to ensure that by 2025, we would have contributed to the sustained well-being of vulnerable children, their families, and their communities in which they live. Although we are not a corporate, it is in our strategic imperative to collaborate and advocate for broader impact. We have made a commitment to engage more of the private sector and corporate organizations in addressing the needs of children and families across this country. We recognize the corporate sector as a powerful force to impact positively on the lives of marginalized children and empower our communities. By engaging with the private sector, we have the opportunity to leverage financial and non-financial resources and engage with companies whose practices may be directly impacting on children and the realization of their rights. We recognize that with an overlap between communities, businesses like you, INGOs and NGOs, we can be a greater force to change in terms of collaboration. A deeper engagement with both the public and private sector positions everyone favorably in the local and international development sectors. It provides us an unparalleled opportunity to leverage our resources together. We would like you to know that through engaging in shared value partnerships with us and others, we can address your business interests whilst also creating sustainable development impact in this country. The partnership between World Vision and all sectors, when initiated and managed professionally, can provide mutual benefits for all parties. World Vision in Ghana has had success stories with some corporate institutions in terms of the delivery of their corporate social responsibility. In the areas of water, sanitation, and hygiene, as you saw in the video, in the area of health, nutrition, livelihoods, and environmental restoration, as well as education for children. Particularly, our work with Promasidor, Kia Motors, Societe Generale, and others presently and in the past have contributed to the reduction of morbidity and mortality in children, mothers, and vulnerable populations. Our partnership with the corporate sector have maximized the strengths, the advantages of each party, as well as contributed to lasting improvements in community members and in the companies themselves. At this conference, World Vision is here, and we are looking forward to working more with corporate Ghana in environmental sustainability, health, water, sanitation and hygiene, education, child protection, livelihoods, and skills development. We strongly believe that strategies such as engaging on a global scale through local action, that is advocacy, and delivering grassroots on-the-ground projects in conjunction with us will bring smiles to the faces of Ghanaian children and their families. Finally, I want to thank the Ministry of Trade and Industry, the AGI, the Ghana Chamber of Commerce and Industry, all corporates present, and the organizers of this event for continuing to put together such an important event to promote CSR and sustainability among corporate Ghana and corporate West Africa. Thank you very much for the opportunity, and may God bless us all.
multinational. And to do the presentation, we have the Corporate Communications Manager, Shirley Kum. She's the Corporate Comms Manager for Vivo Energy. So please give Vivo Energy a round of applause.
Once again, and also thank you to the organizers of this event for inviting us to be part. I miss those days. I know where it all started at Lancaster, Golden Tulip, then now Lancaster, and now we are here at Kempinski. We are moving forward, right? Okay, so I'll take you through basically who Vivo Energy is, what we do in the area of sustainability. You all see me wearing Shell. Yes, that's us, basically. Wherever you go in Ghana, wherever station you see Shell stations, you're talking about Vivo Energy. We have the license, we have the franchise to operate in Africa. But when we talk about Shell, it's a heritage brand. We've been here since 1928, so you can imagine the number of years we spent in Ghana. We are actively in the retail sector. When I talk about the retail, that is where the filling stations, where you go and have your car filled with quality fuel. We're talking about the convenience retail shops. We're talking about the food courts and all that at our stations, the ONFR, that's the other than fuels retail services. We also have the convenience retail, which I've talked about. That comprises the food court. So we go to our stations. We are not only providing you with the fuel, but also the food aspect. You have some of other international brands and local brands like Starbite, KFC, Burger King. So we make your journey and visit to the place comprehensive for you. We also deal in lubricants, and I must say that for the 13th consecutive time, Shell lubricant has been rated as the #1 global supplier in lubricants. So that is this. And we're also actively in the commercial space. We supply fuels and lubricants to the agro sector, manufacturing industries, the extractive industries, and other companies involved. At the group level, we are very wide. We operate in the Northeast, West, and Southern Africa. We have a network of closely like 3,000 retail stations all over in Africa. And in some countries, we are not only with the Shell, but also we have the engine brands. It's only in Ghana we don't have the engine brands. When you go to places like Vivo Energy Mozambique, we are dealing in the engine brands. So that is who we are as a company. For more information, when you log on to www.vivoenergy.com, you have a lot of information about us. What's our vision? Our vision is to become Africa's most respected energy business, and that is where sustainability plays a key role, being respected by our employees, being respected by our customers and other stakeholders, including our regulators. And I'm happy that we had NPA here who recognize the role that we play as far as environment is concerned and sustainability is concerned. He's been following me actively on social media, and I'm not surprised he made mention on that. So working with all our partners to ensure that we build a sustainable business and community. Our values, which is part of our DNA, to be honest, integrity and respect for people. And we make sure that in our engagement, in our operations, in our dealings with our stakeholders, we try and implement all these and bring all our values to bear in our dealings. And we've inculcated this in our employees, in our engagement, in our suppliers. So when you are dealing with us, we try to bring to bear all these values in us.
At PwC, our purpose is to build trust in society and solve important problems. And there's no important problem to solve now than when it comes to businesses being sustainable, to support government to deal with one of the critical challenges facing the world today. We are in over 152 countries. We have almost about 328,000 employees across the world. I must say that all our employees have been trained in ESG, and that shows the commitment that we have in this area. I'll share a few things that we are doing in that section, but let me just highlight a few things. We've done a number of surveys across the world. We did a global investor survey in 2022, and 7 out of 10 investors indicated that companies need to report more on their sustainability things that they are doing and how that is also relevant or applies to their strategy. So it shows that those who are pumping the money into the businesses want to ensure that their monies are going into businesses that are thinking about sustainability. So it's no more the era where nice to have and it's relegated to the background. Investors are actively looking at this. And I'll share a few things down the line. 87% of the investors that we surveyed indicate that they believe that the disclosures that are being made by companies are greenwashing, i.e. they cannot really trust the things that companies are saying they are doing. So of late you see a lot of regulations coming into that area around reporting and ensuring that what is reported can also be validated.
And I looked at a couple of points. Number one, I took a look at what I call the new world organizations. So enterprises need to function and operate in a different way to be able to stay sustainably going forward. They also need to manage their operations differently in terms of their resources, employees, dealing with their clients. They need to adapt to new models of managing these things effectively. I also talked about the role of what I call disruptive technologies. Now, there are many technologies out there, artificial intelligence, machine learning, smart applications, etc. And it's important that any business that wants to operate sustainably going forward post-COVID-19 learns and adapts and integrates these technologies into its operations. The next area I look at is its corporate governance framework. How do you source for your funds? How do you administer these funds? And how do you report effectively on these funds? Because investors are now much more careful, are much more a bit more reserved in terms of how they are investing resources into companies, because now resources are limited and companies need to put into place the necessary framework to make sure that these processes are well managed. So these are some of the highlights of the areas I think companies need to look at if they want to operate sustainably going forward post-COVID-19.